Okay, I've gotten a number of questions on my videos asking to look at both the contrast and the definition of various devices, including the Boox Go 10.3 and then the newly released Note Air 4C. And just for good measure, I'm going to throw in the Viwoods in a second. And we're just going to take a quick look at handwriting, and we're going to look at text. And so we'll use handwriting in their native apps. So let's go ahead and turn these on. And here's an example of what handwriting looks like on each device. Obviously, with the Note Air 4C, you're getting the much darker screen because of the Kaleido color layer. So I'm going to go ahead and also turn on front lighting all the way to cold. And then you can see what the contrast looks like there with front lighting off. Obviously, the exposure of the camera makes this look bright and this look dark all of a sudden. But at least you can start to get a sense of what the two looks like. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring cold lighting down so it's not so overwhelming on the screen. There we go. And then you can see what those two look like. Let's go ahead and take a look then at the Viwoods device. Here we go. Let's turn this one on. And here's an example of what that looks like. The Viwoods does have a slightly brighter background, a little bit more yellow. The Boox 10.3 has a little bit more of a white, slightly gray background to the screen. But the importance really is to focus on the writing and the definition there. Let me go ahead and refresh, make sure we're getting a clean look at each. There we go. And so that's your comparison. So I thought we would look at text as well, and I'm going to use the Kobo app. I tried to make the fonts as close as possible as I can, but there were difficulty on all three devices in doing that. For example, the Viwoods is using an older version of Kobo, but even with the two Boox devices using the same version of Kobo, there's still just a lot of difficulty in getting the fonts to be exact. The Boox 10.3 naturally has in this app a darker font, and so I've compensated for that on the other two devices by increasing the contrast settings to try to make them more in parity. So here you can see the two devices side by side. Again, the Boox 10.3 on the left and the Note Air 4C on the right. Let's go ahead and go on to full front lighting. Obviously, that makes the Boox device, again, incredibly bright, but you get a better sense of its contrast. And then let's go ahead and go to half. There we go. So a little more into parity with each other, at least in terms of the brightness of the reflective screen. And here you can see the definition and contrast of the text accordingly. Let's go ahead and bring in the Viwoods. There we go. Again, the font is obviously different on the two. This is about as close as I can get. Let me see if I can make the Viwoods a little bit larger. So it's a little more consistent with the Boox 10.3. But again, the focus here isn't, are the fonts identical? The focus is how does sharpness and contrast look between the two devices. Okay, so those are my comparisons. Again, I'm not really making a point with this. I really just wanted to lay these out so hopefully viewers can kind of see the differences that might be important to them. I think all three devices are great, so I'm kind of biased toward recommending any of them. It's just a matter of use case and preference to which one might be the right one for you. But hopefully this demonstration may help some of you out a bit in that regard.